Hello all, I'm Chickenly and today I will be reviewing this week's manga chapters that I read. Now, I'm not fully caught up on every series, so pretty much every week it's just going to be a review of the Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, One Piece, and the occasional Vinland Saga chapter. I'm going to do these in sections, so if you just want to go to one chapter or the other, I'll have the chapters set up so that you can just click on them on YouTube, or if you want to go in the description, you can do that as well. So let's just get into it. So starting off with Vinland Saga chapter 195. This chapter focuses a lot on the topic of arming themselves. Ivar leads the stance with pro-arms. He views it as a security necessity, since it's not a guarantee that the relationship between the settlers and the Lanu will always stay peaceful forever. After all, the settlers can easily be taken as invaders to them. I believe he does make some good points with how in the future they will inevitably have to take more land to grow as a settlement. While the Lanu haven't shown aggression as of yet, if the settlers keep taking their land, it's not a guarantee that it'll stay that way. So once the relationship starts to turn sour, the Lanu could pose an attack in which the settlers will have no way of defending themselves because they have no weapons. They won't be able to defend their land nor their families. I really like this chapter. It covers both logical and illogical sides of the matter. For example, we get the highly paranoid Mr. Ugg, who expresses that if he were the enemy, he wouldn't want to show signs of an attack beforehand. While I don't think it's the most logical point, it's just really cool to see how this is brought up because it gives the reader a sense of paranoia that all the other settlers are starting to feel. Another aspect of the argument is from the women's perspective. The women see it as the men just wanting to go to war rather than trying to prepare for the possibility of one. Why focus on all of this when you can just focus on providing for your family, growing the settlement? After all, the reason people followed Thorfinn in the first place is because he wanted to create a place free of slaves and war. Vinland was meant to be a fresh start for these people, doing things differently, so arming themselves would only defeat the entire purpose. Eventually, it's a public vote on the matter, with seeing a direct split between the men and women. At the end, we see Bug Eyes bringing over the Lanu. I would predict that Thorfinn is going to be able to talk through the issue with the Lanu and reach some sort of resolution. I've really enjoyed how, since they've arrived to Vinland, the pace has started to slow down and the chapters have become more dialogue heavy. I feel this just shows the importance of this settlement and how realistically every character and how the settlers are being portrayed. Chainsaw Man chapter 100. This chapter picks up with Asa, Yoshida, and Yuko hunting down a devil in order to join the devil hunting club. After overhearing her classmates talk badly about her, Asa feels the social pressure start to burst and quickly excuses herself from the group. She finds her shoes to be covered in raw meat and therefore decides to walk home barefoot. Yuko attempts to comfort Asa but is unsuccessful. Yuko gives Asa one of her shoes and tells her if she wants to return it so badly, she'll have to catch her. Yuko leads Asa to her house where she gives Asa the other shoe, letting her walk home with her feet protected. I really enjoyed this chapter because it shows how all these recent events are affecting Asa. She wants to act like everything is fine and doesn't want help, but Yuko wants to help. If she can't do that by talking to Asa, then she'll do it by lending a shoe. I feel the shoe signifies Yuko's attempt to help Asa and share her pain so that she hurts a little less. It's meant to show Asa it's okay to rely on someone else and share your pain if people are willing to help. I really enjoyed this interaction a lot, and I also don't think Yuko is Denji. I don't know why people think he is her. I mean, they look a little similar, but that's it. I also enjoy how Asa is the center of the story right now. I've seen people complaining about how Denji is absent, but it's been 3 chapters. You guys need to get some more patience. My god, he's probably not going to be that gone that long, and if he is, I'm okay with it. I like where this story is heading so far. Overall, just a great chapter. I'm really enjoying Chainsaw Man Part 2 so far. One Piece chapter 1055, yet another great chapter for One Piece. It really demonstrated Momo's growth both maturity-wise and physically. This fight between him and Green Bull shows the Straw Hats that Wano will be okay being left in Momo's hands. We also explore more of Wano's history by seeing an older, underwater Wano beneath the current Wano. This happened over 800 years ago when walls were erected around Wano in this made rainwater like trapped in there, and so it drowned the entire country, and then they just built a current one on top of it, like higher up on the mountain. We get confirmation that Pluton is deeper underneath Wano, and that it will require the walls to be removed in order to obtain it. So the question now becomes, why would Odin want to open the walls if it would set loose one of the ancient weapons? We also get to see Shanks using his Conqueror's Haki from so far away on Green Bull. It's really cool to see how powerful and how useful Shanks' Haki is. Seeing Shanks pissed at Green Bull for trying to get Luffy while he's recovering solidifies for me that he isn't evil. There's constant theories that Shanks is going to be the villain, and I just don't buy it. I think just the whole relationship between him and Luffy is not a plot for villainy. I'm sure that Shanks like somehow knew what the fruit he gave Luffy was, and I'm sure there's some reason for it, but I'm sure it's not like evil intentions or anything. Also, everyone is like calling Green Bull out for retreating, but I feel they just don't understand the situation. Green Bull was holding his own against Momo since he instantly grew back himself after taking a blast breath. We also see how he's not even using his sword yet, he's only using his devil fruit. And Aka Inu told him not to overdo it, and challenging two Yonko crews at the same time it would definitely be overdoing it. I'm sure we will see his full potential later in the story, maybe another arc or two, or maybe in the final war arc. We'll just have to see. Overall, just another great chapter for One Piece. It feels like we're really wrapping up Wano, especially since now that Green Bull, and I assume Shanks has left now. I imagine we still have a few more wrap-up chapters, and then we'll head to the next island, which I believe to be Elbaf. Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 192 was a fast yet short chapter. I just don't really have much to comment on it. It just mainly continued the fight between Maki, Kamo, and Naoya. Akutami did a great job of making Naoya look absolutely disgusting and just horrific. I also really like the synergy between Maki and Kamo, where in that one scene Maki just threw Naoya in Kamo's arrows. That was sick. The chapter ended with Naoya completing his transformation and becoming this like Neon Genesis looking spirit. If they were struggling before, I just can't wait to see how they fight him now that he's evolved. You know, like I said, this chapter was really great. I really enjoyed it. It kind of just continued the fight, and I just can't wait to see it continued. Overall, you know, just another great chapter. I'm continuing to love the calling games, each and every chapter, and plus the chapter has Maki fighting, so like, of course it's going to be a banger chapter. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back for next week's review, and I guess I'll just see you all then.